Hi, I'm PhotoJunkie from photoshopbus.co.uk. Today I'm going to show you how you can use some image-based lighting in Photoshop on a 3D text to create a nice chrome effect. So I've got some text laid down here, I've got it centered, and I think I'm actually going to move it up a little bit. Just hold down shift so it says constrained to the center on the vertical, and move it up, and then I'm going to create 3D extrusion from the 3D panel, create. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of all bounding boxes and ground planes. Control H will hide them, and I'm going to come to the chrome and I'm going to set the extrusion to 15. Now Corey Barker had done a short tutorial on Photoshop User TV, I think it was, where he done something similar. He didn't necessarily make it as chrome, but he was showing you that you can use video to create as an image based light on a 3D object, and this is going to be pretty much the same. We might do a couple other things or explore a couple other things. We'll see what time we have. So now I'm going to come to the chrome front inflation, set the reflection up to 100 and the shine to 50. The reason we've used a diffuse black colour is because it sets a nice reflection. We don't need no bump, we haven't got a bump map, so it wouldn't have mattered. Come back to chrome, let's come to cap, and let's set a inflate. This strength is for the inflate. We're going to set that to 15, and then I'm going to go back to the background layer, Control I to invert it, and then back to our 3D layer, and now you can see that we have some 3D text and it's got a nice inflation on the front, and that's just going to help set off the reflections for the chrome. So now we will come to our light. By default our extrusion has created an infinite light. We'll turn that off. We'll come up to environment, and here we can add a image based light. So we'll do load texture, and to start off with I'll do just an image basically, so it's just going to be a still photograph, and I'll just use a built-in excuse me, perhaps this, and you can see it's gone and set that. If we press Control H to bring back all our options, you'll see that in the center here we have this circle. If we click and move on that, that controls the image based light, and basically what it's doing is surrounding our text with this image, and because we've set our reflection up, the front inflation of this text is reflecting the image that's surrounding it. So it won't show by default this background, where it's only showing us so we can move it and place it how we want it on our chrome, but we can use the same image texture as a background, and I'll show you how. So I'm happy with it there, so we'll do Control H to hide it again, and we'll take away the shadow, and let's get a rectangular marquee tool, and let's just do a quick render. I'm just going to select around this so it only renders here. I don't need it to render all this empty space, and we'll do render. I'll hit the space bar to stop that, and you can see we've got a nice chrome effect there. So let's explore a couple of other things we can do. We can turn up the intensity of the brightness of this image base, but I think 100% has come off quite nice. We can also set a reflection, so as we start turning up the opacity for the reflection, Okay, so it's not going to let me change the opacity of the reflection, so it's not going to give me a reflection for some reason. Okay, we'll leave that, but it normally does give you a reflection. It's probably just been a little bit buggy. And we can also add a background image. We can choose to set the image based light as a background, like so, and then we can come in and we might want to edit it just to maybe make it a bit darker and maybe add a bit of contrast. Save it, yes, and then we'll do a render like so. You can turn the image into a panorama like so. We're just going to actually remove the image and leave it as black. And the other thing I wanted to show you was we can replace the texture with a movie file, and I'm going to bring out the timeline, create video timeline, and you will see if I come in and edit this texture, let's start it there. In fact, we can just chop that to there, bring this down, and then add some contrast, close it, save it. We've totally lost that. Edit texture, bring that back, save it, yes, and then scroll through. You can see that we're it's actually playing the video file as a reflection, and the good thing about this is really you're going to want to render each frame. So when you render the video, at the bottom of your render video settings, you can set the render options. You can choose to have an alpha channel, and there's some options for that, but the 3D quality you can choose to have a ray traced final, and then hit render, and it will take a bit of time because it's going to render each frame. So depending on the length of your video and your frames per second, it will take some time. So that's all I want to show you. I'm gonna just replace this back to buildings, render, Control Shift R to render. You can get to it from the bottom of the 3D menu, or do as I've done, just hit this little tab at the bottom of the properties panel, Control D to deselect, and there you go. There's your Chrome text using that image based light. Thanks for watching. I'm Photo Junkie. Don't forget to visit us at photoshopbus.co.uk, where you will see loads more tutorials, thousands of renders, competitions and fun.